Hey everybody, part two. We're back. Um, I changed. I don't know. The only thing I did differently on your show is I deleted one of the pictures we had, one of the deals, and then and we're Axe Media Group is live now. That is so weird.
Well, I have no idea what's going on right now.
I was trying to. Okay, so YouTube worked just fine this morning.
Yeah, for mine.
Yes.
And so are we still...
We're live on Facebook now. I came back. So, part two. Sorry, everybody. I just... Process of elimination here. I guess.
There we are.
Yeah. I mean, I see us... I'm going to see if I can re-add that input.
There we are.
Yeah. But we're not on YouTube. That just...
So it was
me
interesting to do new show this morning. It was a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to do something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And especially since, you're used to me going back and forth with you.
Yeah.
So,
But a half hour is good because there's a lot to get out there.
yeah. Yeah, a half hour is good. There is a lot to get out there, but you can split it up between shows because you're only going to do 4 shows.
There's a lot to know.
Yeah.
There is a lot to know when it comes to facts on those issues. And finding them from a reliable source, or at least one that you can partially consider to be reliable,
Yeah.
is the difficult part. Because it's hard not to put your bias in there.
It is very hard not to put
I have a ton of biases. We could go over them now.
Huh?
Since this is the bias part of the conversation.
I guess that's true, but I didn't think you wanted to go through.
Yes, Steve. It's going to be on next week. Yep, next Monday as well. Which I think by then I will have a better grasp on it. I think I probably should have used an outline today, but I just wasn't sure how to bring it together. And so then the pressure of sitting down here and having to do a presentation of it brought it out of me. I'm just hoping it wasn't too chaotic and confusing.
Yeah, I don't think it was chaotic and confusing.
Didn't
I
think
think no, I think you're good. I think you did a good job. Now we probably need to get here a little earlier next time.
Yeah, well, you just got off of work, so it's kind
Yep.
of difficult to do that. You have responsibilities and chores to do at home before we come in here.
Yep.
That takes a little bit of time. Wasn't really much else we could do.
Right. I'm trying to figure out where is this it? Nope, that's Spirit in America. I'm trying to find our...
I hope people watch it.
I hope they do too.
And at least to be critical in a way that I could get an idea of whether or not they were
There we are.
listening. Whether or not they agreed with me or not isn't as important as it is that I was presenting it in a way that could be followed easily and that they were listening. They were able to listen. It was just a half hour.
Right. So, I'm really trying not to get distracted about the whole YouTube issue, because everything is broadcasting normal here.
Hey, from Memphis,
Who's from Memphis?
David Holland.
Scott! Welcome to the party. I'm going to go and find this and like and share this video. And I would like for you guys to do the same, because it's important that we get this out there. Know what I mean?
What?
Just like and share this. Get it out there so people see us. Today's topic: brains are funny. And the reason I say that is because they, in fact, are pretty funny. There we are.
Some brains are funny.
Some brains are funny. Most brains are funny. Most actions aren't funny, but most brains are funny.
Well, and that's what I was talking about with definitions too, because you talk
Powerful.
about funny. funny haha or funny as in strange.
Like-
or not understood, you know what I mean? I don't know. It depends on how you think of it. Because
Exactly.
I'm not a very funny person. I mean, I can be.
Funny looking.
Yeah.
That's old school elementary diss there, buddy.
Yeah.
Share now public. Share now to my story. And
Don't you
then
think that's been part of what... See, I began to feel like there was an assault on my right to free speech in sociologically in the social environments. You saw media and the way things were being portrayed in our society and had to be concerned about voicing your opinion and that it might draw a lot of negative and even dangerous attention. And that there were that whether stated or not, opposition to your feelings about things could threaten you both in your job, threaten you in your job, even in your reputation, your physical health and safety. You know, it just seemed so threatening to have an opinion about anything in particular.
right.
And part of that, and I think it's been going on for a lot longer than we realize. You know, it's like somebody, you know, when my dad had Alzheimer's, looking back, we see now that he had Alzheimer's for many more years than we realized.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't until the symptoms became so severe that it was accredited to a disease, that it was so oppressive in his personality and in his life. Because, you know, we all can be forgetful. We all sit here in the middle of a sentence at once in a while and say, what was I saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all sit here and try to come up with a common term that we all know, or the name of a movie when we're talking about it, or the name of an actor or an actress. You know, in these conversations, we struggle sometimes to bring out the words. You know, well, something like with Alzheimer's, you know, it happens a lot longer and more frequently than the common person who doesn't have the problem. But I think that's what I mean is looking back now, I'm starting to see that there was something up long before it was,
Bless you.
before it became obvious.
Apparently everybody says you look cold.
Yes.
Steve Schultz says, is it cold? Jay's bundled up.
Well, I am bundled up.
Yeah.
No, not cold.
No? You always are a little bundled up.
Well, I do feel the cold more than
Most more than
people
some.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling it more now than I used to.
Yeah.
You know, losing 80 pounds of fat will do that. All right, so now it's time for...
I think the one of the problems in our society with the pressure about the escalations and hostilities about a person's opinion has kept our thoughts and ideas and feelings about subjects out of the public, you know, realm. You know, we can't talk anymore. But then,
Right.
in the meantime, things have been redefined.
Like, they make you feel like if you talk about God if you talk about God in any way at work, they make, you know, that it's illegal. And that's not true. It's simply not true.
It's not, though it can be, and it will become so.
Yeah, they're going to try. On this year, 2 years ago, Matt Pearson was live.
But then in the meantime, all of that, and I would call it noise, except that I do feel like minorities who have not had a voice have been more represented of late. Even when I felt the threat of not being able to voice my opinion, the opinions of those who are minorities were being voiced, and though it wasn't my position, I'm grateful to know better and understand better their position and where they're coming from, and to have some perspective, you know, on their life. I think that's helpful to me. At the same time, to lose your own voice in the process is not necessarily healthy either.
No.
And then in the meantime, when the hostilities really push certain people out of the public domain and out of the public arena and more common or more populous or popular, well, populous, I would say, not popular, more populous positions, in other words, the more common positions, people most likely to have a perspective that you're coming from, they're being silenced. In the meantime, a lot of the terms that we would use to voice our position have been redefined.
Yeah. Sorry.
Think about the definition of politics, right? It would mean that if you're in the arena of politics, by definition, you would be seeking power. But
Politics
I think,
means,
which means if you are compelled towards politics
you're wanting to
out
have
of
power.
a sense of duty or responsibility, you would not be defined as a politician. You would not be in politics. You know what I mean? So there becomes a conflict of definition there.
That sounds more like patriot to me.
Well, but still, you're in the arena of politics, and politics and politicians are associated with elected positions. So in a way, by not fitting into that definition the way it's written in our books now, you see what I'm saying? You're excluded from that arena.
Right.
When did it become a position of seeking power rather than a position of duty and responsibility?
Morning, Audrey.
And I think also
Steve
it
McAllister.
surprises me and disappoints me that in the definition of politics, I think the definition has followed the actual state of our government, in that our government now is full of people seeking power, who are not there for any other reason except to seek or to seek or project their own power onto others, rather than be there out of a sense of duty and responsibility to their fellow man. It's interesting that the branches of government, what a genius idea that our forefathers had.
Yeah.
And the way that they set up the branches of government to create checks and balances, and that it would seem right now that there's no progress being made. But I would argue that it's not exactly true. Minority groups are being represented right now, socially, politically, and in every way right now. They have been, though that is subsiding and turning back to the position of economics where people need jobs and all that. You know, and my opinions are that we do have a great nation, and in order to have had
amazing.
one, we had to have an economic model that gained power that way, that gave us power over other nations, so that our ideals written in our Constitution and our representative government that represents all people could spread, could have the power it needed behind it in order to stand. And I think it's important to have that. But in order to maintain that economic power necessary to back it, we've lost something in the process. Because I think it's a sad state when a family can't survive outside of poverty and low class without two incomes.
Yeah. Now we need to bring this back around to brains are funny, meaning the way we think, our thought process, and the way we express the thoughts that are in our brain. I say because I know my brain is weird.
Yeah.
Like there's a filter there that goes, in your face from your head to outside your mouth.
Maybe they're less funny than we realize, and that's part of why I was getting into definition. I say something. If you have a different definition for the words that I'm using, you're going to have a whole different idea in your head of what I'm talking about than what I'm
True.
really intending to talk about.
It's about perception, too. Isn't it weird how you can say the same sentence
Yeah.
to two people, and each one of them will hear something different
Yeah.
in regards to how it applies in their life. And that's the way it is with Scripture, too. You have everybody, if you had everybody read one Scripture out of context, just let them read it, and separately ask each person to write down what that Scripture says to them. The difference in answers will blow your mind.
Yeah.
Because we all have a different way of relating certain things to our lives. And it's also the same way with, the politics and the stuff that people, I may come at you with the bias of, oh, I don't know how anybody could vote for such and such. And then the other people that are going to vote for that such and such are like, how in the world can he not vote for such and such and vote for such and such? I say it like that because I don't want to force my political opinion on anybody that watches our shows. Because if they ask me, I'll tell them, but a majority of the people don't want to hear what my political preference is.
No.
And it is that way with me. I don't want to hear what everybody's political preference is because that immediately, when it comes to politics and things like that, it slams a divider right between you. And it's a hard divider to break down.
It's because of the definition of power, I think. Seeking power, which would be to dominate over someone else.
Yeah. Steve Schultz says, I've lost a lot of brain cells.
To assert power and influence over someone else.
Yeah.
Whereas our government is unique in that it was set up to keep the power in the individual hands, the individual person's hands.
Yeah.
The conflict and the complication comes in when you start to your freedom, your liberty
Yeah.
to pursue, whatever it is you choose, starts to infringe upon someone else's.
Right.
So it's the loud party next door. Well,
Yeah.
on Saturday, that's one thing. Monday through Friday, that's another. And who gets to determine what that is and where that power lies?
Right.
That's where the conflict comes in, especially as population rise. We have, 7 to 9 billion people in the world today? Well, as our populous areas become more and more populated, it's very, very difficult without law and order to allow to allow everyone to have their own individual liberty while still restricting those so that they don't impose on their neighbor.
Right.
And that's a lot of what's happening in our world today, I think. It's just that people are so stacked up on top of one another. Now, what's the solution to that? You can spread people out so we all have our own little space, but then there's no space left.
Right. Absolutely.
And all you have is people polluting everything everywhere. And the world won't, the actual physical earth won't function as well as it needs to.
No. And, you would have to, in order for anything like that to ever work, you would have to limit breeding.
The solutions
population
to that
control.
have been population control, which wars have played a part in. And what is that? What have wars been fought over? People's assertion and influence over other people with power. Using, and
people who have power that don't want to lose it. People who don't have power but want to gain it.
Yes, and who ends up caught in the middle?
I think they call that ambition.
Yes, and who ends up caught in the middle? The man on the field is not the one with power.
Yeah, no, he's the one.
The
working
power in
for
their
the one with
hands
power.
is the bullet and the blade and the will to go out and assert that. So I think that's one of the complicated issues for government right now is that how do they manage so many different wants and needs and desires and demands effectively to appease everyone? Well, I think that, and when I was looking into the classes and income levels per capita, it became more clear how they are dividing it up in a way that makes them all even and equal is good in your being able to interpret the information, but it's also takes out a certain understanding of who is in power.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who's being represented.
All right, so Troy, I'm not sure which part you were commenting on. He says, not my house. Kelly Knosby, welcome. Mike Crimper.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Not my house.
Devana, welcome to the party. Welcome to the watch party. So today we're talking about how brains are funny and perception, and obviously politics a little bit, and about law and order and justice.
Well,
and
that's my
peace. That's your brain, and your brain has a tendency to lock onto something and obsess over it.
Yeah.
That's your brain. That's your brain's. Mine has a tendency of just kind of like deflecting off of stuff, just like, you know, those ricochet sounds that you hear in the movies. That's what my brain does. It goes the other direction, and I think that might be like the ADD in me.
What do we want to really label that as something negative?
Population control. He says, "Not my house." Talking about population control. I don't know whether that was inappropriate or not, but that's funny. So let's see here. I keep getting all kinds of notifications over here. The fact that I can focus on 3 different computer screens at once, that's how funny my brain is. Because each one is I can't say what do you call that? We're compartmentalize?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Compartmentalize.
Compartment. I cannot say that word. That is a funny thing about my brain.
Compartmentalized.
Compartmentalize.
You've had a compartmentaloscopy.
Oh, I have. That's right there by the participle dedanglement. Which is another
inside joke.
Funny. It's another funny situation that happened on
which
the
was a product of my mind.
Yes, and we just ran with it.
Be funny
because I was talking about a dangling participle. It was really, really funny to say, and not as fun to learn about. It's a grammatical term, but fun to say, and it's been kind of like a running joke with my brother Scott and I for a long time. But then we turned it into something off the wall. You're like, yeah, that I know. That's that little hanging ball thing in the back of your throat. I said, no, that is a uvula. And you're like, yeah, I like the participle, the dangling participle. Yeah. And what a dangling participle is according to what I have read and studied, is a grammatical term describing a word that is in a sentence that if you remove that word, the sentence does not lose its value in any way, shape, or form. Like, the cold water is delicious. You could take out the word cold, and it would still have the same. It wouldn't lose its meaning. The water is delicious. Same sentence, just you're not using it.
Except the person who stated its preference for water being cold.
Pronoun. Was that a pronoun? No. What is that? What now? What'd you say?
The thing in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
You take it out. Your participle is removed. And the sentence has no real change of meaning.
So Steve McAllister will not be here today, but his guest will be
great.
Nimra Roden, exposing the candy-coated occult. She also has some time in the afternoons with Troy and Belinda Johansson. Of course, Rod and Trish Campbell, long time no see. Good to see you. Said hi to Brittany Dalton already, but I want to say it again. Send you a wave. Becky Rollins Code, welcome to the party. Good morning, Cheryl Summit. Mike Crimper. We haven't talked to Kelly Knosby in a while. Maybe we could work that out where she'll do the weather again for us. We'll see.
The weather's a changing. We got a new season coming up.
It is a new season.
Obviously.
It is a cold and flu season coming up.
Of course, I wear all this year round, so it's hard to
Except
say.
for in the summer.
Didn't I wear this most summer?
No, well, most of the time during the summer, it's because you rode your motorcycle, even in
protection from the
70-degree weather, if you're riding in a in a motorcycle, if you're riding in a motorcycle,
and you're not in a motorcycle.
if you're not in a motorcycle or on a motorcycle, you got the wind blowing, and it'll take the heat from your body.
Yeah, which is good.
Just like you can die of hypothermia in 85-degree water.
Yeah.
Because water
And at
leaches
65 miles an hour, 85-degree air
yeah.
draws a lot of heat out of you.
And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit on the
Boring side?
no, I'm not. I'm just really, really, really wore out today.
Yeah.
So I apologize if I'm boring you guys.
But you always focus on the humorous side of it.
Yeah.
You want to see something humorous. You don't like the weight of conversation the way I do. You know what I mean? I will tend to focus on details and, and somewhere in there get lost on it too.
You have a very analytical mind.
Yes. Yes. Hence a good example of both of our characters.
Yeah. And mine is a distracted mind most of the time.
Right. You played on words there
Yeah.
to call me names.
Analytical?
Analytical, you said.
Oh, what are you talking about? Anal retentive?
Right. But yes. But it was a play on words too. Yeah. It was very, very well done.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I find that sense of humor to be quite relieving and
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. There's so many places we could go with that.
Yeah. How many places could we go?
At least 2.
Like a woodchuck if it was chucking wood.
Could it actually could chuck wood?
And now what were we talking about?
All right. Well, so these 2 nuns walk into a bar.
Which is funny because one of them could have ducked.
The second one should have ducked.
Yeah.
Kelly says she's not prepared. Well, yeah, no, we weren't going to just throw you under the bus like that today, Kelly. We were, eventually, because you had been sick for a while, so we haven't really heard from her in regards to the weather.
Yeah.
Whether or not, that is what we called her segment.
Yeah.
Mike Crimper says, I caught it. What are you talking about, Mike? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I said he's got an analytical mind.
And what does that have to do with population control?
It has a lot to do with the price of tea in China. You never asked anybody that before when they were talking about something that you had no idea what they were saying. You said, "What does that got to do with the price of tea in China?"
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Or
opposites
does
attract.
Everything have something to do with the price of tea in China?
I mean, back in Boston. Wait, that wasn't tea from China, was it?
Probably was. It was tea from England that they probably got from China.
Ah, Chinese English Chinese tea.
Yes, somebody's here. Hello.
Nimmer Roden might be coming in. Here, let me see what we got there. I'm looking on the camera to see.
Trying to find
that
an
is Nimra.
unbiased position though on
Hi, Nimra.
politics right now is difficult.
She turned around and waved at the camera.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh,
He said analytical.
yeah.
That's what he caught.
Yeah.
Is there?
Well, I caught it too.
Is that? That's not contagious, is it? I mean,
Hey, and to all my analytical friends out there who are following me, it's us. It's us against the world.
it's us against the world. Analytical people,
We need
unite!
representation.
That's like procrastinators of the world. Unite!
I'm here
Tomorrow.
to represent you.
You hear Nimra back there laughing.
So cliche.
It's clutchy.
It's clutchy.
It's glitchy. Glitchy.
Yeah.
That's how you spell cliche, right?
But don't you
C-L-I-C-H-E?
think that your effective sense of humor in these areas that I obsess over are also signs that maybe you obsess a little bit over them too, or have concerns as far as their, about them?
All right. So what was the question?
What's that?
What was the question?
Don't you think that's don't you think that means that you must be thinking about these things a little bit yourself?
Most of the time when I say stuff, it just comes to mind and I spit it out. And I guess there are a lot of times that I do actually turn something serious into a little bit of a jokey joke to deflect or to bring down the seriousness or the heaviness of the
A
conversation.
little too much of anything
is a bad
is
thing.
too much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what's a great thing about our founding fathers and their genius of the government that they put together is that a little too much of one thing is too much of one thing.
Yeah.
And so there's the checks and balances that really create the struggle that becomes really very vicious at times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why on your show this morning from 7:30 to 8, Monday mornings, you can check that out live. It's called Just the Facts, Trump versus Biden. Anyways, I put on there, feel free to comment, but let's keep it civil.
Yes. It's a good reflection of this, though, like us.
Yeah.
I'll be too analytical and you'll be too humorous, and then somewhere we will meet in the middle. The thing is that we are looking out for each other's best interests as well as our own,
Yep.
and we see each other as an advantage. Like I see you as valuable.
Well, thank you. I do you as well.
Yeah.
Your tongue overrides your brain, Matt. I don't know what you're talking about. How can I stick my tongue at you from my forehead? Okay, override your brain?
Overrides. It's yeah.
You just had an image in your mind of me with a tongue sticking out of my forehead.
No, none at all.
But that make me a unicorn? Oh man, I'm so tired. I'm getting that slap happy goofiness going on.
I
which
have
is
no idea what to say.
more so than usual.
So where are we today?
We're at Axe
8:41.
Media Group headquarters. So Steve McAllister's not going to be here today, but his guest is going to be, and we need to interview her, or basically introduce her and let her talk about it. Nimra
You
Roden.
can support us by liking and sharing these videos.
These what?
Liking
Videos?
and sharing these videos. You can support us by liking and sharing these videos. Really, you can. The best way that you can help us to build a network that plays live videos all throughout the day is to share us with your friends that you might think will be interested in the content that you are watching. Go to your web browser, go to axemediagroup.com. You can view all the different shows that we have on there and their different types. You might find one that you enjoy even more than this one.
Yeah.
And you could share that maybe with a friend who's a little different than the people we would be entertaining on here.
Because let's face it, we're all different.
We are all different. Help us to develop this network.
Yeah. Help us to
By
touch the
sharing.
lives of each person out there.
Yeah.
The like-minded and unlike-minded alike.
Yes. Right now we have a heavily skewed program model that is extremely religious. Religious to the extreme.
Yeah.
And so we want to develop more programming in that a person who is not necessarily so extremely religious or even not at all religious
Would still watch it
would
and get
still
something
be able to
out of
tune
it.
in for some interesting content
Yeah.
that they could enjoy and participate in.
Yeah. Exactly. And
And they would know when that's going to be on.
we might be
They could
working on
depend
like
that.
a puppet show of some sort we're developing, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be funny.
Yep.
Johnny Rooster and you and myself will be.
Which, if you tuned in last Friday,
You saw a little bit of it. Did you watch that video?
I did not watch it. I was here.
Because I had it zoomed in on this camera and had your puppet while you were talking, moving.
I was here when you did that.
Yeah, but I mean, see it on the camera, it's even better.
I saw a little bit of that because I was watching.
Yeah, you've been busy like preparing for your new shows on Mondays at 7:30.
Yeah, I want to do it well, but I'm not sure. I want it to be interesting too, which I'm not. Hey, let's face it, I'm an odd duck.
Yeah, but you quack me up. Oh man,
Oh, that was pretty good.
try not to be a quackhead.
Well, yeah.
Say no to quack, folks.
Yep.
Say no to quack. Unless you're a duck.
So
then-
it's time, isn't it?
correct. No, we
1 minute.
technically still have 5
Quite
minutes.
a bit of time.
5 minutes. But we do need to get prepared for the next show. And trying to think of what I'm so wore out today. Work. That's all I'm about. Work.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, you did get to go to Oklahoma.
I did get to go to
which
Oklahoma.
You enjoy.
Yep, got to see my friend Andrew.
Probably not enough time there, though.
No. Because usually I go up
You
there
gotta
on
be back here for
a
Monday.
Friday, and then. Huh? Oh, okay.
This gentleman here looks familiar.
Yeah, he's usually wearing a blue shirt and glasses that says Plaza Towers.
Ah, okay.
He just brought in an envelope. Anyways, what was I even saying, Jay?
Yeah.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
But you did say it better.
I try. What can I say? Work. That's what I was saying. Work.
Yeah.
I work a lot, and then I get a little sleepy, and like I come in this morning, I've been at work all night, and I explain this a lot. A lot of times I'll explain why I'm so goofy. Fact of the matter is, I'm this goofy all the time, or I try to be. Anyways.
You really need somebody to be able to do this when you do take vacations so that you
Can take a vacation.
Yeah, so that
Oh, yeah.
a real
Now I know what we're
vacation.
talking about. Yeah, not enough time. I go out there on a Friday afternoon, and I have to come back Saturday evening.
Yeah.
But, if I can get somebody to even,
Which really keeps the pressure on.
yeah.
And it's hard to enjoy yourself in another state and, to travel or do something that you really want to do when you've constantly got the pressure of achieving, getting through a schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I really actually could do this from another state. All I need is for somebody to turn on the computer and turn on this and then pull up
Well,
my team viewer.
We need to plan it better. Your next vacation, we need to plan it a little bit better
Yeah.
so that we can make that possible and you won't be so pressured
Yeah.
to not enjoy, to make your vacation
An actual
like work.
Yeah. This is what, 3-4 hours a day minimum. But that's not a full work day. For some
But it
people
does
would be.
keep you on a schedule that just screwing off for 2 weeks on a vacation doesn't allow.
True.
Because each day you're back reset to business.
Yep. Stephen Keller said, "Sorry guys, I couldn't help it today. I will return tomorrow." Well, that's good. But we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We're going to get started or get ready for the next show. Brighter Living Live with, Steve McAllister won't be here. We'll be introducing Nemra Roden again, and she'll be talking about the candy-coated occult.
And this is your show. Yes.
I might turn it over to Nimra. Let her take it over.
She might need someone to banter with.
Or she might.
Bro.
She might.
You could
She might
banter
have
for the
somebody
first
to
half. I
banter
could banter for the second.
Boy, that is loud.
Yes.
There we go. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Morning Drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for Brighter Living Live, followed by Sacred Ways with Troy and Belinda Johansson. So, until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
and this has been The Morning Drive.